Hello.
Hi, it worked.
Because it doesn't always.
Right. So I'm grateful for the times that it does.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This week is flying by. So yeah, I'm in good spirits. I'm like, wait, tomorrow's Thursday already. I don't even know how. So
I know. And when is your book launch?
next Tuesday is the virtual or like digital book,
Yeah.
ebook. Yes.
So good things are happening. So before we get started, I'll just introduce myself. I am author Nicole D. Miller, and I'm hosting our upcoming Girl Talk Women Who Bounce Back. You're tuning in to our Girl Talk 101 Live with Jenna Lear. Jenna, we're so excited to have you back on the Girl Talk panel.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. This one's gonna be such a good one too. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I believe you were in our very first panel discussion in 2022 when we did Are You a Feminist?
Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm due to come back and I'm here for like the deeper discussions too. So, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
So you've been on the roller coaster ride with us as we've been growing, and now we're in person. So our next event will be held at Ink Therapy Studio. It's November 24th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a good time. Jenna's going to be one of our featured speakers. So Jenna, catch us up a little bit on what you've been up to since we haven't been connecting as often as I would like.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This question is like such a double-edged sword because so much, right? And also like I'm trying to find the balance in personal life too.
Mm.
So yeah, so I would say the biggest thing top of mind, you already called it out, is I've got a book coming out finally.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and I feel like, going down the self-publishing route, I'm just, when people are asking about it, I'm like, I'm building the plane while I'm flying it here. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So, yeah, so that's
Right.
exciting.
I'm very proud of you. You know, that is near and dear to my heart, authorship and being an indie author. So, what made you want to go the indie author route as opposed to traditionally publishing?
Yeah. I feel like, well, one, I always look at how I can move faster, right?
Okay.
Like that's a big part of not just like, you know, haphazard decisions in my business to move faster. I want to move faster intentionally, for growth and all of that. But also, I think at the end of the day, I've just decided it always comes back to this thing that I probably said the first girl talk, right? And it's still true. I'm on a big mission. And that mission sometimes requires me to just kind of be scrappy and make decisions and figure it out. And that's something that I know how to do well. And so I wanted to go down the self publishing route so that I can really kind of get my feet wet into what it looks like to be an author and to really get my message out there and to share, to share my movement and my mission and really help more people. And I feel like although I can do that with traditional publishing, there's just something really scrappy and beautiful about being able to move quick with it, in the self-publishing realm. So that's really why.
And of course, hats off. I totally commend your effort and you're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So for me, it's like you're one of the people that I esteem in business as an entrepreneur, as a female leader. So it's really like you have to have that confidence to stand on your
Mhm.
own 2 feet, to believe in your dream, to believe in your goals, to do something like that, to be an indie author and an entrepreneur. So I
Yeah.
definitely know you're going to kill it.
Oh,
So
thank you.
can you tell us more about your book? Can you tell us what readers can look forward to learning and the nuggets that you share?
Yeah, yeah. So, my book is called Market Your Magic, and it essentially has taken this process that I've developed as a program in my business. So it's a program that I offer women entrepreneurs, and when clients come in and they take the program, it's called CASP, it stands for Client Attraction Strategy Program. They come in and they learn how to build a brand from the ground up and essentially get the nuts and bolts of being able to market your business, grow your brand, learn how to consistently attract dreamy clients, and at the end of the day, position themselves as the go to expert building a brand from the ground up is not for the faint of heart. So, and it's really rooted in mission and movement and how can you stand out and make a bigger impact in the world. So I really essentially took that program that has, run 7 times. We've had 7 successful rounds, helped over 50 women entrepreneurs go through this and really learn how to grow their brand. And I took that 5-step process and I turned it into a book. And the goal being is, I'd love to work with more women entrepreneurs, of course, but at the end of the day, if you just read about these steps and go through this process, you too will set yourself up for success in growing your own brand and really stepping out to do this thing, right? Like having a business, growing a business, it is not easy. And so having a little bit of a playbook, a little bit of a, hey, go do this, and you'll start to see some pops, you'll start to see some shifts. I know that it's going to really help a lot of women entrepreneurs. And so that is really what the book is about, like setting yourself up for success to grow your own brand and really cracking the code on marketing your business in a way that feels good for you.
That's definitely something needed for every entrepreneur. I feel like you mentioned that entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like has kept you motivated to keep going? Like, how long have you been in the game, and how have you been able to stay in the game?
Yeah, yeah. It's no, I would say no year looks the same. Like each year brings about its own, you know, I'd say like gift and its own what's the word I'm looking for? I get towards the end of the night and I start to lose brain
No,
cells,
that's
guys.
fine.
So
And so
but I
just
think
like
it's
kind of like something unique, like every year is unique.
yeah, I learned something new. I've faced different challenges each year, and I think that that's part of what keeps me in the game. Like my point in sharing that is because at the end of the day, I got in this to really be able to create a life that I didn't think I was going to be able to create when I worked corporate, right? And I got into this realm to really achieve time freedom. Money freedom is great. We get to be that, we get to be rich, we get to be impactful, we get to be generous. But I think that there's this beautiful aha moment when you've realized, oh, I control my time. I can go to the park on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. and just read a book for 2 hours. Like that is so beautiful, especially if that's your choice and how you want to live your life and what you do with your precious time. So, without going off on a whole tangent here, that's really one of the reasons that I got into this is to be able to create my career and my impact and my life on my own terms. And I've been in this for a while. I've been at it since a good, I would say 7, 8 years, 2015,
Wow.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's brought about its own challenges, but its own rewards. And I already know like there's always a higher possibility, especially when you're mission driven. So it's a beautiful thing.
And as you mentioned, it does bring about its challenges. That's a little bit of what we're going to touch on for our next Girl Talk. Women who
Mhm.
bounce back, i.e., bouncing back from challenges. So, what is
Yeah.
one thing that you've bounced back from that we'll kind of hear a tidbit now, and then you'll expound on at our next Girl Talk?
You know what's funny, Nicole? I was thinking like, oh, I should probably kind of review some of the questions and get prepared, and I haven't done that yet. So, so Sunday's going to be really beautiful. But off the cuff, I would say the thing that I bounced back from is, I'll just kind of hit you with one of the big fishes here. I bounced back from being able to make my own money. I've been talking about that on a couple different panels and a couple different stages lately and what it looks like to be able to say, I actually know how to go out and make my own money. And that's how I know how to keep my business alive, but it's also how I know how to trust that I can take care of myself, that I can go out and try these different things and really go after my visions and my dreams, and I'm going to be okay. And money is absolutely a part of that conversation. But don't get it twisted. There have been many times where it's like, there's $2 in the account. How am I going to freaking do this? And I think that that's kind of where the bounce back narrative comes in. It's like, it comes back to how are you trusting yourself? What are you believing to be true? And how can you really put yourself in a position to be supported so that you can bounce back? Because especially the entrepreneurship road, you're going to get knocked down. So, yeah.
Yeah. Would you give us an example of something that kind of knocked you down in the financial arena and caused you to be like, oh my God, is this the end? Or you just kind of had to regroup and pivot?
Yeah, yeah. I've had many. I've had many. I'll say, I think one of the most unique was last year, 2023. Each year up until then, I had hit my six figures each year, and we've been growing steadily from there. It's been a beautiful thing. And on the road to create a big business, it's impactful too. But there was this moment when I realized, like, I need and I get to have a break, right? Like I have been working since, full time since I was about 17, taking care of myself. And there was really this moment where I was like, okay, it's a beautiful moment where 2022 was my first in-person conference. We hit really big numbers, really big impact. And you need a breather. What expands must also contract, right? And so I was working to set myself up with, a breather, but what I'll say, and I'll just keep it real and raw, is I wanted to give myself a gift of not paying bills for a year.
Wow.
That was my goal. And you got to be strategic with the way you save about that, and it takes time too. Especially if you're a business owner, right? Because you got to pour into the business too if you're self-funded like I am. So all that's to say, to make a long story short, for the sake of this live, um, I I got to a point where my body was like, actually, you don't have any more time to save and prepare for this gift that you want to give yourself. It gets to happen now. And so 2023 was my break because my body said
Yeah.
it's a break,
Yeah.
and if you can listen or you can get really sick. And I
Yeah.
listened. And so, I took a break because I was intuitively called to do it in that moment, whether I was ready or not, it was time. And so I shared that because, especially from a bounce back perspective, that was my off year. And I learned so much about myself, and I sat with really uncomfortable feelings. And I received a lot of really beautiful messages and opportunities too. Um, and also, what does it look like when you take a year off,
Yeah.
guys, of like working and hustling like you're used
Yeah.
to get back to it? 2024 has been a wild ride. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
And I appreciate you sharing that. Our last panel discussion live I did was with Secret, and she talked about having to protect her mental health,
mhm,
step away from her brand for a period of time to
yeah.
nurture her mental health. And there was a word I feel like God gave me last year, a couple of years ago, where I recognized because I don't have a standard 9 to 5, I don't take weekends off. I didn't have breaks. Like you said, there were
Mhm.
no breaks. And I felt like he was like, you have to find the break during the week because you're normally working during the weekends. So I
Mhm.
had to be intentional. And I honestly did stop doing this, but I take other types of breaks. But I was intentional to like go to a movie at 3 in the afternoon. Like other times people would be working. I recognized, oh, these are my break times.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no shame in that, right? And how can you really just sit in like the
Yeah.
gratitude and expansion and blessing of that? That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I think
Mhm.
we as hustlers and entrepreneurs, like we have to fight for those break times. We have to prioritize our health. So we'll definitely get
Absolutely.
more into that. Don't feel bad about not looking at the questions. So much of this is like natural and organic because we
Yeah.
really want it to be authentic conversation between women who are, forming a sisterhood with like-minded female leaders. So no worries.
Love it. Love it.
So for people to follow up with you, to check out your book, how can they contact you? What are your websites, social media
Yeah.
handles?
Yeah. Get ready. The book is coming.
Yeah.
So it's so exciting. So I'll say real quick for the book purposes, there's two things. So next week is the Amazon launch, and then in December we'll do an in-person book launch, which is really exciting too. So, for anyone Cleveland based, come join us. You can check everything out at bluelouistudio.com. So blue like the color, LOUI studio.com. And that's essentially going to take you to the magic portal. If you drop your deets and, email, phone number, your name, all that stuff, you'll get entered into the portal. And in the portal is really where it's all going down. That's when the book's happening. That's where the links are. That's how you can contact me. And I even have a free discovery session in there if you need to talk brand and marketing. More than happy to do so. So that's where it's all happening.
All right, you guys heard it here first. Definitely catch us at the next Girl Talk Women Who Bounce Back Sunday, this Sunday, November 24th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Ink Therapy Studio. Tickets are $10 available on Eventbrite. All right, Jenna,
Amazing.
I will see you on Sunday. Enjoy the rest
All
of your
right.
night.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you on Sunday, guys.
Bye.
Bye.